Alright, so I'm back on the Uta being the original One-Eyed King, now known as the Washuu One-Eyed Ghoul. And I'm glad all this stuff got brought up somewhat in this chapter. You know, we got a picture, which was rather unusual. We got a random picture of a character who is the One-Eyed Washuu Ghoul, or whatever you want to call him. I'm just going to call him the Underground King. I'm kind of sitting here and I'm questioning why. Why did they show us a picture of someone that we don't even know if they're not going to bring him back into the story? Like, is Ishida going to bring this character back into the story? Is this character going to play a prevalent role in the ending of the story? I don't know. However, this is where the idea kind of comes in with Uta and his overall plan and goal, because I had a very hard time connecting Uta to the original One-Eyed King, why he would be in that position, why he would be hiding now, and everything along the sorts. But this chapter kind of gives it a little bit more clarification, so I'm back on it. You know, I as you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of this Uta idea, but I'm doing my due diligence. You know, I'm trying to connect the dots as best as I can. So I apologize because it's going to be a little bit all over the place. I was kind of just thinking about it and it's all kind of stuck in my head still, so it's just going to come out all messy. But, you know, stick with me, sit back and relax, get lost in the thought of theories for Tokyo Ghoulry. So I guess the first thing we have to mention is that the original One-Eyed Ghoul, or the Washuu Ghoul, or the Underground King, whatever, he is a Washuu, obviously, you know, Washuu blood descendant. He is a half ghoul, similar to Eto. The way he turned into the Naga Serpent was that he fought with the Washuu family. There was bad blood between them or something like that. There was a falling out, and he demolished all of them, and he cannibalized on all of them, which basically turned him into this thing, I'd imagine. That ending bit, you know, him cannibalizing and turning into that is not confirmed, but that's kind of just the most logical answer at this point. So when you go from there, right, you have the V organization and the Washuu family versus this one-eyed Washuu Ghoul, who is extremely powerful because he's a Washuu and he's a half ghoul, and now he's just turned into this Naga Serpent, right? So he's demolishing everything. The Washuu and the V team up. They try and take this thing out. You know, they try and destroy it, and they bury everything underground. Like, they literally get rid of everything. They try and hide all the evidence of this thing existing. They don't want it to be found. Interestingly enough, we recently found out that the underground children and parents and ghouls and whatever that were stuck underground actually were the ones to defeat the Naga Serpent, right? Like the actual Naga Serpent, not the person itself, just the Naga Serpent. And they managed to do that by destroying his eyes. We found out in this chapter, the most recent one, that the way to defeat Kaneki, or at least find his original body, would be going through and looking into each individual eye, destroying each eye on his body, right? Because that's kind of like the main Kakaho source. Realistically, upon trying to defeat the Naga Serpent, they would have had to come across the actual body, the core of the Naga Serpent, this one-eyed Washuu Ghoul. Now my question is, would these people go ahead and actually try and kill this person? You know, they're going through and they're trying to stop the Naga Serpent. They've never seen it before potentially, and then they manage to defeat it. They're all in joy. It's kind of turned into this stone structure, or it's a husk basically. It's, you know, just stuck there and it's not moving. It's finished, right? But then they find this body in one of these eyes that they've destroyed, and they're like, wow, like someone was actually controlling this. Someone was in this. You know, do they save that person? Do they drag that body out? Do they destroy that person? Like, what would they do? I want to imagine that they would take that person out of curiosity. I'm not sure if the children would know that, because they're kind of like the only source of information that Ayato got for the Underground King. But I think that the Naga Serpent, the one-eyed ghoul, is actually well and truly still alive. Now I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, you know, would Ishida really bring back someone that we don't really know about? Sure, he would. You know, I can't deny that. Of course he would, right? But like I said, I'm cut between, you know, him losing impact because it's a character we don't know, or him playing on the fact that it's a character that's been in our face the entire time since the beginning, right? And the utmost perfect character that suits this description, even the way he looks very similar to the one-eyed Washuu Ghoul, is Uta, right? And then also Furuta, which I thought was very peculiar, right? Furuta being a Washuu, you know, a certain bloodline, a certain family, that would make sense. It would also mean that Uta would have to be a Washuu from that same similar family. They have the same somewhat hairstyle, the same features, and that in itself is very far, right? But this is where it gets rather interesting. Because we don't know what the V organization wants, we're not really sure. We know they teamed up with the Washuu family to destroy the Naga Serpent, and that's it. You know, they wanted to stop this beast. If this thing was still alive, right? If someone came out of this body and was still alive, you damn well know that the V organization and the Washuu family will most likely try and hunt this thing down. They would want to find this person if they figured out that this thing was still alive, especially if they don't even know that this thing was killed to begin with. Like, how does the V organization and the Washuu family know that the underground ghouls managed to destroy the Naga serpent? The only thing V and Washuu managed to do was to drive this ghoul underground. So throughout the entirety of the story, since the beginning, we have the V organization looking for the One-Eyed King title. It is implied that they've been looking for it for a very long time and they want it really, really bad. Why? Why do they want it? Ain't no One-Eyed King floating around yet. At this time, Arima was the One-Eyed King title, right? But Arima got it from Eto, and Eto was not the One-Eyed King. She was holding it. She got it from someone else. Now, realistically, could that person be Uta? What would make the most sense for me right now, for Uta being the One-Eyed Washuu ghoul, right? The V and the Washuu at the beginning of the story are looking for the One-Eyed King title. They are looking for the Naga serpent. They are looking for potentially a person that's come out of it, because I don't know how they know that something's going to come out of it, unless they've kept tabs on it or something. But if this ghoul managed to get out, you damn well know the first thing this ghoul is going to do is somehow change his appearance. He's going to look completely different. He's going to try and blend in with society. And one of the best characters to blend in is Uta, right? Let me just throw out some hypotheticals right now, even though this whole video is one. If Uta was the Washuu one-eyed ghoul, right, the underground king, it would make complete sense why he would tattoo his eyes. It would also make sense for him to join Furuta to take out the Washuu family, a family that's been hunting him for a very long time, right? And the next stop is the V organization. And funny enough, Uta is one of those characters that has always had a different agenda, a different motive. You know what I mean? Like, he's never worked with Furuta because of Furuta's motives. He's never worked with Donato because of Donato's motives. He's always had his own agenda that he's been trying to achieve. So if he hitched on to Furuta's plan, like, oh yeah, we're going to take out the Washuu family, we need them to be destroyed so we can, you know, start this big thing, this big revolution, I'd want to say that Uta would very well jump on board. He's fully disguised. You know, his one eye, which is very obvious, has been completely covered over thanks to his tattoos. He can change his appearance. He can change his face. You know, he can face swap. He can potentially control people with those face swaps. And he's ridiculous in strength. I'm like, oh yeah, he got whooped by a bunch of different characters. Like, the man has not died, nor has he legitimately, like, lost. I don't think we've ever seen him fight legitimately seriously, and for good reason. And that's kind of always irked me a little bit. You know, he's always had a motive for fighting. Like, he's always trying to achieve something. He's never actually gone out of his way to try and completely obliterate someone off the face of the planet. He's always had something there. A good example is the Matsuki situation, right? If that was actually Uta, because this is where the whole mask theory comes into play, like he could potentially change someone's face and control that person because he changed that face. If that was actually Uta from the beginning versing Matsuki, right? There is no way he got caught. There's no way he disappeared, Matsuki caught up, and he got caught and easily defeated like that. Unless he wanted to be defeated like that. Or unless he was controlling someone. See what I mean? So I went a little bit off track, but for me, the Uta situation is just steamrolling a little bit more. We find out more about the one-eyed Washuu ghoul and the fact that he could potentially be alive. We know that Uta is one of the most mysterious characters, and the fact that he's got tattooed eyes for no real apparent reason, unless he was trying to hide the fact that he had only one eye, one ghoul eye. He can also change his appearance, and he's also helped with the destruction of the Washuu family, a family that has been trying to hunt him down and tried to kill him. Same with the V organization. So if Uta has been, you know, this other person this entire time, he's been hiding this entire time, it would make a lot of sense. You know, he's blending in. He's waiting for an opportunity to tag along and destroy the Washuu and the V organization. He sided with Kaneki right now. He helped Renjioma, one of his best friends. And that's kind of the problem here also, is the fact that Uta has a bit of a backstory to him. The age differential, and depending on when they defeated the Underground King, all comes into play. There's a lot of lost time there for the one-eyed ghoul to be defeated and Uta coming out and growing up and potentially having a gang and all that stuff. Like, oh, what about his age? You know, he'd be extremely old. Not necessarily, actually, because he has been stuck in this form the entire time, this Naga Serpent form. Theoretically, he shouldn't aged one bit, at least from his core body. But then again, that's unconfirmed, and me pulling out a hypothetical, but it could be possible. So far, there's a lot of evidence pointing to Uta and him being the one-eyed Washuu ghoul. It would make for a very big impact for the story, and as much as people really don't like the idea, a lot of Uta's motivations, a lot of Uta's plans and goals realistically would line up with the one-eyed Washuu ghoul if he was trying to get revenge. First thing he would do was blend into society. He would change his face. He wouldn't necessarily work with people. He would kind of create his own situation, his own own organization. Mind you, Uta, when he was younger, did run an organization, a gang, I should say, which puts him on that leadership level of what the One-Eyed Washuu Ghoul was, starting a revolution, trying to lead people. And it would make sense that he would want to help and take down the people that were trying to chase him and kill him since the beginning, the Washuu and the V organization. So far, there is still a lot of gaps, obviously. There's still a lot of mystery, but I am slowly moving forward with this Uta idea. I'm not 100% sold just because it's still very out of left field, and that you could connect a lot of this theory around Uta to another character that's just as mysterious, and that for some reason shares a very weird resemblance to that character that was shown to us, the One-Eyed Washuu Ghoul, but I'm not sure. I am keeping my eyes open. I am looking for any sort of other connections, but so far everything's kind of lining up rather decently. And like I said, that is completely up to Ishida on how he wants to kind of play on the Naga Serpent. You know, does he want to bring that character back into the story? Because this could all be easily kind of just thrown into the garbage bin if Ishida next week was like, yeah, the Naga Serpent was literally killed, like the core of the body, the person controlling it, the person inside of it was killed. So there's always that, and that completely wipes this whole idea. But with that being said, let me know what you think. There's just a little bit more stuff to think about. I know we're kind of coming into the end of the story, and playing on Uta being the Naga Serpent doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest thing, so honestly, I'm easy either way. I would like to see it be a thing, but at the same time, it doesn't really bother me. If Ishida wants to play on Uta being the Naga Serpent potentially, he would have to do a very good job on explaining the missing years, the missing gaps, the missing things that obviously Uta has for that to work. And I think it would boggle a lot of people's brains, like, holy hell, like we didn't pick up from it since the very beginning. And mind you, we didn't pick up anything from the beginning. We didn't pick up on Furuta, Dr. Kanao, Rize, like the history of Washuu. We haven't picked up nothing, alright? Everything's been set in motion since the very beginning. So just keep that in mind of how long we've known Uta as a character and why he sticks his nose in very particular things. Who knows? So with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching, but I'm actually going to end the video off here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.